woman. So adult is only the woman. So woman. So this one. From a picture analysis like this, we can say that less part of the meaning of the word girl is English involves the human plus female minus adult. We can also characterize the feature that crucially to appear as the subject of particular verb, supplementing the syntactic analysis.
Semantic roles. A semantic roles in the underlying relationships that a participant has with the main verb in a clause. In certain theories, linguistic ways, thematic relations, also known as semantic roles, that a noun phrase may play with respect to the action or state described by a governing verb, commonly the sentence in main verb. Agent, the entity that performs the actions. Theme, the entity that is involved in or affected by the actions. Instrument, if an agent uses another entity in performing an action, that other entity takes the whole of instrument or takes the role of instrument. For example, consider the following. This is the examples of semantic roles. So, the boy kicked the ball. So, the boy is agent and the ball is theme. So, the man opened the door with a key. The man is agent and the door is theme with a key is instrument. So, the key is already instrument. So, the theme can also be entity that simple being describes. The ball was red. So, the ball is really agent. Although agents are typically humans, they can also be non-humans, faces, or creatures. So, the wind blew the ball away. So, the wind is creatures. So, the wind is agent. And the dog caught the ball. So, the dog is animals. Dog is animals. And the dog is agent. And the theme can also be a human. The boy kicked himself, so himself is agent. And one of the warning of examples of semantic roles is benefactive. The noun or noun phrases that refers to the person or animals who benefits or is meant to benefit from the action of the verb. Examples of benefactive. For examples in the sentence is John baked a cake for Lois. So, Lois is the benefactive cases. Experiences, when an NP designates an entity has the person who has a feelings, a perceptions, or a state. It fills the rule of experience. We use know or enjoy something we don't perform or action but we are experienced. Yes. So, examples, did you hear that noise? So, you is experience. And location is explains where an entity, source from where an entity moves, and goal where an entity moves to. So examples, she abandoned a magazine from Gorge. So the source is from Gorge. And the last is she handed the magazine back to George. So the George is goal. That's all po. Thank you.
Okay, now, in lexical relations, not only words can be treated as containers or as fulfilling roles, they can also have their relationships, the types of lexical relations, and these are the followings. Synonymy, two or more forms with very closely related meanings, which are often but not always intersubstitutable in sentences. It should be noted that the idea of sameness of meaning in synonymy is not necessarily total sameness. For example, broad. Broad is a synonym of the word wide. And job means occupation also. And synonym of keep is hold. Antonymy. Antonymy means two forms with opposite meanings are called antonyms. Antonyms are usually of two main kinds. This is gradable and non-gradable. Gradable, they can be used in comparative constructions. The negative of one member does not necessarily imply the other. For example, not modern doesn't mean old-fashioned. Not old doesn't mean young. And not dull doesn't mean bright. Non-gradable. Non-gradable is also called complementary pairs. They are not normally used in comparative constructions, and the negative of one member does imply the other. For example, not dead means alive. So alive is very well. Half dead means very tired. But it is important to avoid describing most antonym pairs as one word meaning the negative of another. Consider the opposites tie, untie. The word untie doesn't mean not tie. It means do the reverse of tie. Such pairs are called reverses. Pack, unpack, raise, lower, dress, undress, and lengthen, shorten. Hyponymy. When the meaning of one form is included in the meaning of another, the relationship is called hyponymy. In this category, we are looking at the meaning of words in some type of hierarchical relationship. For example, animal is a horse, animal is a dog, and animal is snake. We can say that two or more terms which share the same superordinate higher up term are called co-hyponyms. So dog and horse are co-hyponyms, and animal is superordinate. The hyponymy captures the idea of is a kind of, like cobra is a kind of snake. Terms for actions can also be hyponyms. For example, cut, punch, shoot, and stab can all be found as co-hyponyms of the superordinate term injure. Homophony. When two or more differently written forms have the same pronunciation but different meanings. For example, sea. Sea means body of water, and sea means that you actually saw in your own eyes. Great or great, and cent means currency. Scent, like the one that your nose can smell. And sent means you already sent the message the other day. Homography. When two or more forms are the same only in writing but different in pronunciation and meaning, they are described as homographs, such as crane. So there's a crane animal, and there is also a crane like in the construction. Park. Park means if you want to park your car, and park means a place where children can play. Bat like a flying animal, and there is also a bat that an equipment used in the game, in the sports. Homonymy. It is when one form, written or spoken, has two or more unrelated meanings, but have the same pronunciation and spelling. For example, bank of a river, and there is also a bank, a financial institution. Bark, the sound of a dog creates, and there is a bark also, that covering of a tree. Tire means car wheel, and tire, fatigue. They have quite different meanings but accidentally have the same form. Polysemy. It can be defined as one form, written or unspoken, having multiple meanings which are all related by extension. For example, head refers to top of your body, and top of a glass of beer, and top of a company. If two words are treated as homonyms, they will typically have two separate entities. Metonymy. This relationship is essentially based on a close connection in everyday experience. It may be, for example, container-content relation, like can juice, a whole part relation, car wheels, or a representative symbol relation, like king crown. Sometimes making sense of many expressions depends on context, background, knowledge, and interference. Collocation. Those words which tend to occur with other words, like for example, hammer collocates with nail, wife collocates with husband, and knife collocates with fork, and saving collocates time.